My name's Janine. 42. I live in a shoebox apartment in Tribeca that costs more than my parents' house back in Denver. Personality-wise, I'm like a sniper rifle, cold, precise, and usually aimed at whatever secret you're trying to hide. I work in internal audit at Hunter Tech. Sounds dull, right? That's exactly what they count on. They think I'm just the woman in the beige cardigan, policing interns who steal toner. They think I'm part of the furniture. Funny thing about furniture, it's in the room when someone talks about bodies they've buried. Hunter Tech is one of those tech companies people treat like a cult. We sell enterprise software that costs millions to help companies fire their middle management. The CEO, Marcus Thorne, looks like he was 3D, printed from a collage of frat presidents who never learned consequences. Perfect teeth, perfect tan, perfect narcissism, rules are just suggestions for lesser mortals. If you like stories where corporate predators get dismantled, hit subscribe. It tells the algorithm we like justice cold, unlike the office coffee I'm sipping right now, which is lukewarm at best. I've been at Hunter for 7 years. In that time, I've saved the company $40 million by catching mistakes, double payments, vendor overcharges, the usual chaos. I have a photographic memory for numbers. A 0.04% variance in a quarterly report will gnaw at me until I find the error. Marcus calls me the librarian when he thinks I'm not paying attention. He thinks it's an insult. He forgets librarians guard the most important thing in a company, information. The office at Hunter is curated toxicity, nap pods, kombucha on tap, open-plan spaces designed for maximum exposure, minimum privacy. People smile too much, show too many teeth. Everyone's a shark pretending to be a dolphin. My office is a glass cube by the elevators. I see the panic attacks at 2 p.m., assistants crying in stairwells, and the expense reports. Especially the expense reports. Most execs hide their dirt well: shell companies, offshore accounts, plausible deniability. Marcus? Not so much. Narcissists get lazy. Eventually, they believe their own hype. Stock price at an all-time high, Forbes fluff piece on his morning routine, and suddenly he thinks he's untouchable. It started on a Tuesday. I was reviewing the Q3 marketing budget. Hunter Tech supposedly spent $4 million on brand awareness in Southeast Asia. Our strategy doesn't even target that region, we go after bloated US healthcare conglomerates. Why Thailand? Ledger review, sloppy, round numbers, $50,000 payments. No taxes, no fees, just round numbers. The classic sign of a liar in a hurry. The vendor, Apex Solutions LLC. Background check, no website, no LinkedIn, P.O. box in a Delaware strip mall shared with a vape shop and a We Buy Gold store. I sipped my water, calm. Auditors don't get scared when we find a discrepancy, we get excited. Loose thread on a cheap sweater, and I'm ready to pull it. I matched Apex invoices with Marcus' travel schedule. Perfect alignment. Bangkok, Macau, Cayman Islands. Not just consulting, logistics fees bigger than a Honda Civic. I printed everything. Not on the network, not on my home printer. I used the dusty basement printer, offline, untraceable. I made stacks of invoices, spreadsheets, travel logs. Manila folder. I wasn't blowing the whistle, rookies shoot before they're ready. I drafted an email to Greg, our spineless CFO, subject line innocuous, Q3 marketing variance query. Polite, professional, lethal if you knew how to read it. I asked about Apex Solutions, deliverables, contracts, work product, none found. Hit send. Waited. Silence speaks in corporate life. This wasn't busy, it was a bomb squad staring at red wires. 2 days later, calendar invite, Marcus. Penthouse. Comp discussion. Annual review season. I was due for a significant raise and bonus. I dressed like someone who prosecutes war criminals. Penthouse smelled of fear and mahogany. Marcus stayed seated, didn't smile. Janine, he said. Thanks for coming. Happy to be here, Marcus, I said evenly. Let's cut to the chase, he leaned back. Greg forwarded me your email about Apex? Just clarifying some documentation gaps, I corrected. Oh, minor stuff. Greg's handling it. Legacy R&D contract, thin paper trail for IP reasons. Absolute unadulterated. You don't expense R&D through marketing or pay vendors in Delaware strip malls for next-gen algorithms, I said. He waved it off. SEC has it covered. Pretty little head. Glacier formed in my chest. He realized too late. Then he tossed me my review, 0% increase. Rating, meets expectations. Tiny smirk. Stop digging, it said. I understood. I left the penthouse. Elevator down. Espresso first. He thought he silenced me. He handed me the match. Back in my cube, I acted on feedback, stopped doing the job he thought I was doing. Stopped policing bagels and mileage logs. Cleared my calendar. Night work. Server hum louder. Hallways dim. I needed raw data. General ledger, the unfiltered truth. Legacy ERP system still had my superuser permissions. Logged in. Pulled threads. Apex Solutions was the tip. Orion Logistics, Vanguard Holdings, Nebula Consulting, round number payments, all Marcus approved. Worse, not just embezzlement. Stock manipulation. Claimed AI growth for supply chain predictions. A lie. Millions funneled to shell companies. Codebase untouched for 8 months. AI was smoke and mirrors. Revenue inflated. Options cashed out. Pension funds, teachers, retirees, Marcus was building a golden parachute with their money. Then an email at 11:45 p.m., from HR. Team, to streamline compliance and foster an agile culture, the internal audit department will now report to the General Counsel. Effective immediately. Greater harmony will result. Harmony. Stripping my department. Game on. Moving us under legal was the final blow to audit's independence. With one stroke, they could bury every discovery we made under attorney-client privilege. It wasn't a reorganization, it was a muzzle. Then came the follow-up email, sent only to me. Subject line, your updated position. Hi Janine. With the new alignment, your title is changing to Senior Compliance Analyst. You'll no longer have clearance for Level 4 financial systems. Please return your admin tokens to IT by end of day tomorrow. Let's focus on team alignment and positive momentum. Smiling face with smiling eyes. A smiley emoji. She stuck a smiley face on what was basically a demotion and a lockout. The timestamp told the truth, they'd seen my data pulls. They were watching the logs. They knew I'd reached the raw files. Their corruption was the organism. I was the infection. And they were deploying antibodies. I printed her email and slid it into the growing file. My hands trembled, not from panic, but from the electric crackle of adrenaline. They thought removing my access would stop me. They thought cutting my title would make me back off. They didn't know I'd already prepared for this. I unlocked my drawer, took out the burner flash drive I kept for emergencies, and started downloading the entire SQL environment. The progress bar crept forward like a fuse burning toward dynamite, 1%, 2%, 3%. Harmony, I murmured to the empty office. You want harmony? I'll orchestrate something. Around 2 a.m., Hector from the cleaning crew wandered in, humming as always. He paused his vacuum when he saw the glow from my monitors. Late night, Miss Janine? Inventory, I said, eyes on the screen. Sorting the garbage from the valuables. You good? Never better, I replied. Just doing a little housekeeping. The system ticked to 100% right as dawn streaked across the Hudson. I ejected the drive, slipped it into my bra, yes, cliché, but extremely effective, and walked out. Earl at security gave a drowsy nod. Night, Janine. It's morning, I said. Brand new one. Instead of going home, I ducked into a 24-hour diner on 8th. I ordered scrambled eggs I didn't eat and stared at the flash drive sitting beside the salt shaker. I had the weapon. Now I needed someone willing to pull the trigger. If I tried this through official channels inside the company, they'd fire me and bury me under lawsuits before noon. So I called in sick. I had half a year of unused sick days, perfect timing to be conveniently flu-stricken. My apartment turned into a command center. Beige walls and minimalist furniture transformed into a battlefield of printed pages, markers, and post-its. I needed the whole story laid out. Evidence alone doesn't win, narrative does. Chapter 1, Marcus builds the fake companies. Chapter 2, the money drain, Hunter pays shells for imaginary work. Chapter 3, the rinse, shells cover his lifestyle and debts. Chapter 4, the inflation, shells send phantom revenue back to Hunter to fake growth. A Ponzi scheme wrapped in buzzwords. After 36 straight hours fueled by espresso, I still wasn't done. Ledger, my judgmental cat, watched from the table like he was evaluating my sanity. Then I found it. Buried deep. The smoking gun email thread. From Greg, we're short $12 million. Missing this projection tanks us. Liquidity event is next month. What's the move? From Marcus, trigger the Orion contingency. Bill the Asian expansion license. We'll reverse it next year. Just hit the number. Fabricating $12 million of revenue. Fraud in bold font. A text pinged from HR. Janine, we missed you at today's transition meeting. Legal needs your laptop tomorrow by 9. Jessica. They wanted the hardware wiped. I fired back, flu. Contagious. I needed help beyond the SEC's molasses pace. I needed law enforcement, not regulators who bargain fines. I remembered David from grad school. Brilliant. Socially awkward. Obsessed with forensic accounting. Wanted to join the FBI. We teased him relentlessly. I dug up his email, dm.miller@fbi.gov. Message, David, it's Janine. I'm sitting on $40 million of fake revenue and a CEO with a god complex. Want to catch a big one? I hesitated only a second before hitting send. 10 minutes later. 34th and 8th Diner. Tomorrow. 7 a.m. Bring everything. Leave your phone. I smiled. A cold, satisfied smile. Ledger, I told the cat, your daddy's going to prison. I spent the night scanning, duplicating, and creating backups. One drive in my safe. One hidden inside a hollowed-out copy of Ethics in Business, the irony delicious. One in my pocket. Morning came. I dressed like I was attending a burial, navy suit, white shirt, no jewelry. In a way, it was a burial, of Marcus Empire. My reflection didn't look like an auditor anymore. She looked like someone preparing an execution. You wanted a reorg, Marcus? I whispered to the mirror. Let's reorganize. The diner smelled of burnt coffee and bacon grease. David arrived at 7:02, rumpled as ever. He sat, no handshake. You look awful, he said warmly. I feel like corrupted data, I replied, sliding the drive his way. He plugged it into a rugged tablet. His eyebrows rose higher with every file. Jesus. They didn't even mask the routing. Amateur hour. Arrogance makes people sloppy, I said. This is prosecutable, he muttered. But we need them to commit the next act while we're watching. Investor call? Next week. They'll announce the Orion revenue then. We need you inside, he said. Act beaten. Make them think they've won. If they sense danger, they'll destroy everything. The thought made my stomach twist. But I nodded. I can do it. I returned to Hunter Tech at 10 a.m. My badge still worked. HR pretended everything was normal. Jessica chirped, feeling better? Much, I said, handing over my laptop. Sorry, fever dreams. She snatched it like it was radioactive. Legal wants to see you. Of course they did. Mr. Sterling, the general counsel, didn't bother with politeness. You're on administrative leave, he announced. You'll sign this NDA affirming full confidentiality. Any breach, press, competitors, anyone, and will destroy you financially. He shoved the thick document my way. I understand, I said softly, signing it. A meaningless gesture, agreements shielding criminal acts aren't enforceable. Sterling didn't know that. Get out, he said. As I walked past the bullpen, the giant screens lit up with a company-wide stream. Marcus' face beamed. Fantastic quarter ahead. Huge momentum going into the investor call. He was preening. Celebrating. Oblivious. My phone vibrated. David, we're in. Wire is live. Keep calm. The elevator doors closed around me. The noise of Marcus cheerleading vanished. I wasn't beaten. I wasn't silenced. I was already inside the walls. And the gates had just opened. This was pure intimidation. They wanted me too scared to call the SEC. I sat in my dark apartment, city lights slanting across the floor. My mind wandered to Hunter Tech's employees, the innocent ones, receptionists, coders, janitors. They were about to get crushed. Collateral damage. Guilt weighed like a lead coat. I shrugged it off. I wasn't destroying the company, I was flipping the switch. The mess wasn't mine, it was theirs. I pulled out my Life After Hunter Tech folder. Empty. I had no Tuesday plan, no clue who I'd be afterward. But I knew one thing, I wasn't going to be a victim. Sunday night. The calm before chaos. I poured wine. Opened my clean laptop. Logged into Hunter's investor portal under my maiden name. Countdown, 12 hours to live broadcast. I slept like the justifiably insane. Monday, 8:45 a.m. Coffee hot, laptop ready. Stream live. Production overkill, Midtown Studio, HD cameras, digital clouds, soaring stock charts, cheesy techno music designed to make you optimistic. The chat room scrolled fast, Investor Guy 88, to the moon. Crypto King, buying dip. Tech Watch, Orion revenue huge. Sheep. And the wolf was about to step on stage. 9 a.m. sharp. Marcus Thorne entered. $1 million suit, unbuttoned collar, Capto smile. Good morning. Historic day for Hunter. I sipped my coffee. You have no idea, Marcus. Slide deck opened. Fiction on display, growth, synergy, paradigm shift. Click, Q3 financial highlights. Our revenue exceeded expectations by 20%, thanks to the Orion initiative in Asia. There it was, the lie, broadcast live. Securities fraud on display. I texted David. Go. Marcus preached about transparency, ecosystem, and truth. Irony so thick you could choke. Numbers don't lie. People do. His eyes flicked left, off camera. Smile faltered. Confusion. I'm sorry, disruption in the studio. He hadn't seen the windbreaker yet. A voice came through, federal agents, nobody move. Camera stayed live. Marcus turned gray. Panic. Marcus Thorne, step away. Hands visible. Handcuffs clicked. Music to my ears. Turn it off, he screamed. Cut the feed. Greg and Sterling? Dead in the water. I sat, coffee untouched, the silence crushing and glorious. Hunter's stock cratered. Nasdaq halted trading. Billions evaporated. Former colleagues texted. I didn't answer. CNBC replayed the arrest on loop. Who was the whistleblower? I was a ghost, for now. Another knock. Sterling, frantic, manic. Tie loose, hair wild. You did this, he hissed. We know it was you. I did my job, I said. Cold. Precise. You signed an NDA. We'll ruin you. The NDA doesn't cover crimes. Look it up. Door slammed. Deadbolt locked. He was right, I was radioactive, unhireable. But I wasn't in a cell. I had faced the monster. I had won. Ledger, my cat, licked his paw, unimpressed. Well, I said, I'm retired. Text from David, backups verified. Marcus trapped in his own web. Circular blame. Perfect. I stepped outside. NYC unchanged. Taxis honking, tourists dawdling. They didn't care. I walked to Battery Park. Statue of Liberty in the distance, a reminder that freedom has a price. Phone rang, NYT. Miss Miller, sources say you flagged Hunter's irregularities. Is it true it started over a denied raise? I laughed, dry. Is that the story? Disgruntled employee? Yes, said the reporter. Woman who brought down $1 billion giant over a cost of living adjustment. It wasn't the raise. It was the insult. They thought I was blind. Quote me, I said. The raise was just the trigger. The gun was loaded long ago. I ended the call. Burner phone tossed. Uptown. TVs and electronics stores replayed Marcus' fall. SEC probe underway. Employees locked out. I bought gum at a bodega. Observed the news. Felt a pang of sympathy, then remembered the culture, arrogance, complicity. I had burned the village. Sunset. City beautiful. Shoulders relaxed. Tension headache gone. Unemployed. Blacklisted. DOJ subpoenas likely. But free. I faced the monster. I erased him. Search complete. 3 months later, Hunter liquidated. Marcus pled guilty, 8 years. Sterling disbarred. I sit in Tribeca Cafe, $16 cappuccino in hand. Freedom tastes like oat milk and lavender. No raise, no severance. But SEC whistleblower reward pending. Hunter fined $150 million. Marcus fined $20 million. Math checks out. Plans? A bookstore in Vermont, the audit. Judging literary taste, not compliance. LinkedIn recruiter. Deleted. No more compliance, startups, or synergy. USB drive, the original, held the empire's downfall. Left it on the cafe table. Plastic, silicon, deadly. Sipped coffee. Victory. Lesson: if you betray the person who sees the bodies, make sure you compensate them. Marcus forgot, the help notices. And sometimes, the help stops helping. Sunglasses on. Into the New York afternoon. Jobless, careerless. But free. Tight budget year, I whispered at the sky. Not for me, Marcus. Never for me.